going on, everybody? It's your boy Pat Chennington. We're out here in Boston. Took a little weekend trip, kind of get away from Jersey for a little and just relax. We have no plans really. We just came down for a couple days and we were like, let's just walk around the city and explore and see what's going on. And there's a Newbury Comics here, which I had no idea. So we're gonna go record shopping, see what we find, pick up some stuff, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Say hi.
Hi. It's very cold.
Yes, it's cold. It is very cold. You didn't bring gloves.
I never bring gloves.
Amateur. So up until discovering the shop in the Back Bay area of Boston, I always thought that Newbury Comics was just like one specific store somewhere in California or something. But to my discovery this weekend, I found out the shop was a couple of blocks down from a bed and breakfast my fiance and I were spending the weekend at. And I also found out there's more than one Newbury Comics. I really had no idea. We were walking around on the first night we got into Boston, and I immediately recognized the name and logo when strolling past it. And constantly seeing online that the shop is known for their incredible vinyl selection, I decided I wanted to splurge a little the next morning and go on a mini vinyl record shopping spree. It's actually been a good while since I really let loose at a record shop and picked up some gems. And as you'll see in this video, I really made out with some incredible releases. Before we begin, if this is your first time here at the channel and you love exploring fascinating music, make sure you click that subscribe button and turn all notifications on so you never miss a future upload. And big shout outs to Vapor95. Use my code PAD15 to get 15% off at their awesome shop. They got a whole bunch of cool retro and vaporwave inspired apparel, housewares, and much more. Definitely give them a visit whenever you get the chance. The link that automatically applies the discount is located in the description of this video down below. So right off the bat, the Back Bay area of Boston has some really great places to visit. Amazing food, great shops, and it gets cold as hell down there. We weren't ready for that. But I did finally get to go to Newbury Comics for the first time and check out their insane selection of vinyl records. I could have spent an entire day in the shop. We had some stuff we were going to do throughout the day, so I had to make sure I didn't spend too much time there. But I really did get a chance to see what the shop was all about and pick up some new music for my vinyl music collection. Many of you know, I love Vaporwave. I like to talk about it quite a bit on this channel, and one of the first things that is just so cool to see in the shop is albums that I know from the scene just being displayed up front and center. I also didn't realize at first that there was an entire basement area in this shop and also a second floor, with the basement area exclusively housing vinyl records. So I was even more in heaven when I took a step downstairs and saw everything that they had down below. I ended up spending just under $200 in the shop after everything was said and done. So here's what I got. Let's start off with what probably was the best deal I think I got at the shop. Oneohtrix Point Never's Magic on a double LP transparent salmon colored vinyl. I ended picking this up for only $16, and while I do have a bootleg of Echo Jams and the Uncut Gem soundtrack on vinyl, I don't actually have any Oneohtrix Point Never releases on vinyl. So I was more than glad to pick this gorgeous double LP up for just under $20. This thing is loaded with extra artwork and inserts. I love the entire visual display, from the Hypnotic album cover to the various typefaces plastered throughout the insides of the jacket, and that salmon color works perfectly as a transparent record. A lot of times I'll find colors on many transparent vinyl releases to be sort of dull and weak, like the colors don't really come through properly, but here it's really just super strong and juicy. It's like a Starburst candy or something, I don't know. Magic is a playground of sounds, similar to many of Lopatin's work as Oneohtrix Point Never in the past, but at this point in his discography, he's still able to present powerful moments of fun, jumpy synths, and samples scattered throughout his audio playgrounds he loves to present in his work. It's a record I'm really looking forward to spinning with some friends and kind of just standing around the vinyl as it plays and amidst the ever so wacky sounds and sparkling moments of Daniel Lopatin's work. And like I said, for $16, can you really go wrong with a double LP like this one? So I'm famous for not listening to much of Boards of Canada's discography, and I'm an idiot because everything that I have heard from them so far I really like. Geogati and Tomorrow's Harvest are two albums that I would say I've listened to the most by the duo, but Twoism is a project that I really find super charming and is the first record I now own from Boards of Canada on vinyl. Released all the way back in 1995, Twoism is a sludgy, hazy, and foggy nostalgia trip blending warped synths and classy hip-hop production. It's the first EP released by Boards of Canada, and I ended up picking the repress of the classic over at Newberry Comics, a project I really adore and haven't listened to in a while actually, so I'm excited to get back to Jersey and spit it on my record player on a nice cold rainy day. I feel like it's perfect for those kind of moods. It's housed in this basic white cardboard inner sleeve instead of being in a legit full artwork, full-blown jacket, and the repress feels like a record you'd pull out of a DJ's collection back in the day, and it gives it a sort of garage sale find kind of feeling, like a record you find at a yard sale that you love but you can't find the jacket it's paired with, so you just put it in, another sleeve, paper sleeve you found along the way. It has that feeling. For those looking to get into Boards of Canada, this is a great project that even I can only assume is a great intro to the duo without listening to most of their entire catalog, and for just $20, this is another steal for me. Pusha T's 21-minute long Daytona from 2018 is a banger, simply said. When these tracks dropped back then, those 7 tracks, during that stretch of releases produced by Kanye with this, Kid See Ghost, KTSC, there's Ye and the Nas album. That hype from the Good Summer got off to a bang, with Daytona being the first drop that came out that year in late May. This was another record back in the day I was going to buy online when it first came out, but never ended up doing so. Unfortunately, this was a bit pricier than I remember it being back in the day. Ended up scooping this for $40. And while yes, $40 for a 21-minute project might seem a bit pricey, but I mean, it's Push, Daytona felt so fresh at the time, and it still is, and there's nothing like vibing to some Pusha T flow backed by some good Yeezy production. I ended up picking a solid amount of hip-hop up from Newberry Comics, as you're about to see as we continue this video, and I was really happy with the selection they had over at the shop. I could have spent way more if I stayed there a bit longer, but once I saw this thing, I knew I wasn't going to leave without it. Daytona comes on a standard black LP with a trackless insert as well. Really ready to blast this during the summer and hear this bump on my record player. Before we continue this video, I just wanted to give a quick special shout out to Dryden Ray, Nature's Neighbor, Gwyneth, Ray, and everyone else who supports me on Patreon. If you want to help support the channel, as well as get access to a bunch of exclusive rewards and benefits like access to our patron-only Club Chennington Discord server, check out my Patreon page today and consider signing up. The link is in the description down below. Thank you so much for all your support. Cheers, and back to the video. An album I've recently revisited and just fallen in love with all over again is the Freddie Gibbs Madlib collab from 2014, Pinata. I've been listening to it a lot lately. Weather started getting a little warmer in Jersey last week, so my friends and I immediately made our way back to the park to play some basketball, and I mean, Freddie is just one of those rappers that get you ready to ball. Pinata, to me, is an essential vibe for that. The matching of Freddie Gibbs' self-reflective lyricism and his rough, heavy flow contrasts perfectly with the varied blend of Madlib's soulful and cheery or laid-back and jazzy beats. The entirety of Pinata is a wholesome package, containing some great features as well, like Earl Sweatshirt, Danny Brown, and a handful of others, and the energy Gibbs brings to the table whenever it's his turn to bat again in a track is just so hard-hitting. Nothing really ever gets the job done for me like Mad Gibbs does. The variant of Pinata I picked up at Newberry Comics is on a standard black double LP. Originally, I was going to buy another version at the shop which had some sort of alternate vinyl treatment, but was a bit more expensive, so I decided to just go with the standard version and save a few bucks on that. $34 for this one. Really can't complain either, since this is easily one of my favorite hip-hop albums ever, and many records online these days will cost you around that same price anyway, with shipping and handling included. So yeah, it's an honor to throw some Freddie into the collection, and which better project than Pinata. If you've seen my favorite Vaporwave albums of 2021 video from about 2 months ago, you'll know that Illuminations by FM Skyline was one of my favorite projects from last year. I never ended up picking up the physical for it, but luckily I was able to scoop one up here at the shop for just $20 on an Emerald Translucent LP. If you want to learn more about that album and why I love it so much, definitely check out my video I just mentioned, but to sum it up here, 100% Electronica has provided such a great home for the sound style and aesthetics of FM Skyline and their incredible work. Illuminations is my favorite project from the artist yet, the perfect blend of synthwave and vaporwave, in my opinion at least, FM Skyline's dedication to what they love in art and sound fully comes to life on this hazy yet shiny 13-track project, and I'm really excited to see this album discover new ears as time goes on. It definitely deserves it. While I was in the shop, I kept seeing 100% Electronica vinyl pop up, and it just reminded me how far some of these artists really have come, and seeing their physicals in the actual shop was beautiful. And saving the best for last, Czarface meets Metalface, the first collab album between the legendary MF Doom and the Czarface supergroup. I don't think I'll ever get sick of the comic book meets hip-hop energy found in projects like these, and right off the bat, this artwork might be one of my favorites out of the bunch. The variant I picked up in Boston is a Newberry Comics exclusive pressing, a limited edition of 1,500 records pressed on a silver inside clear with orange splatter vinyl is the name. This album I've actually never heard before, and as I previously mentioned, I really adore that comic book inspired hip hop execution, so I'm more than sure I'm gonna really enjoy spinning this one from time to time. I always fall into these MF Doom grooves at least once or twice a year. I'm sure you do too. Where for a couple of days, you literally only listen to MF Doom and revisit that entire discography. And it's always fun discovering projects he's been a part of that I never knew existed, and this is one of those. This was the most expensive record I picked up for the day at $50. So I decided to take a chance with this one, and after spinning it for the first time while filming this video, I already know I'm gonna dig it. Have you picked up any new records, cassettes, or CDs recently? And any record store recommendations as well, please hit me with those. It was really fun just going in and blindly buying records in a physical shop. I haven't done that in a long time. So it was just a nice change of scenery, not just waiting online for a Bandcamp drop like I usually do, but instead just getting lost in all the colors and artwork of a true record store experience. Next, click here to check out my deep dive into the Caretaker's 6.5-hour-long musical project known as Everywhere at the End of Time. Or click here for a huge vinyl record unboxing video I did a while back, and I'll see you over there. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today, and until next time, much love, your boy, and we'll talk soon, Chennington.